All right, thank you. We're going to go to Governor Pawlenty next. Governor, you say you balanced every budget without tax increases as governor of Minnesota. But in 2005, you levied a new tax on cigarettes, which you called a health impact fee. You said you had to compromise with the Democratic legislature to end the government shutdown. But doesn't that show that when leaders are faced with big deficits, they sometimes have to raise taxes?
No. As I said before, I've got the best record of financial management, or one of them, of any governor in the country. The Cato Institute gave only 4 governors in America their highest grade, an A grade. I was one of those governors. The other 3 aren't running. The other 3 aren't even thinking about running. As to the circumstance that you mentioned, I had the first government shutdown in 150 years. We did put together a package, but I balanced the budget every time in Minnesota that I was the governor. In fact, my last budget ended June 30th of this year with a surplus. I did agree to the cigarette fee. I regretted that. As it turns out, the courts later held it to be a fee, but nonetheless, it was an increase in revenues. Turns out we had a new budget forecast a few months later, and we didn't even need it. But my record of leadership in Minnesota, cutting spending from historic highs to historic lows, balancing the budget every time, doing health care reform the right way, again, stands in contrast to Barack Obama. He should cancel his Cape Cod vacation, call the Congress back into session, and get to work on this. Barack Obama is missing in action. He should have the kind of leadership I had when I was governor of the state.
Thank you, Governor. Next, we're going to go to Representative Bachmann. This is a question also about that cigarette tax increase. You were in the Minnesota State Legislature at the time, and you said you opposed the tax, but in the end, you voted for it. Now you promise never to raise taxes. Why would you compromise then, but not now?
That's right. I was very vocal against that tax, and I fought against that tax. The problem is, when the deal was put together, Governor Pawlenty cut a deal with the special interest groups, and he put in the same bill a vote to increase the cigarette tax, as well as a vote that would take away protections from the unborn. And I made a decision. I believe in the sanctity of human life, and I believe you can get money wrong, but you can't get life wrong. And that's why I came down on that decision that I made.
Governor Pawlenty, do you have a response, 30 seconds to that?
Yeah, what's wrong in the answer is the answer. Congresswoman Bachmann didn't vote for that bill because of stripping away a pro-life protection. She voted for it and is now creating that as the excuse. But nonetheless, she speaks of leading these efforts in Washington and Minnesota. Leading and failing is not the objective. Leading and getting results is the objective. I've got the best record of results of any candidate in this race.
All right, thank you. We're going to go to Senator Santorum next.
Okay, yes, you can.
This is exactly what I'm trying to illustrate. We need to have a President of the United States who stands firm on their convictions. This is what I have demonstrated for every day that I have been in Congress. I have a consistent record of standing on my convictions. I didn't cut deals with special interests where you put the pro-life issue together with tax increase issues. That's a fundamental. It's a non-negotiable. And when we come to a non-negotiable, we must stand, and I stand.
Governor, we're going to come back around.
Just very quickly, her answer is illogical. Her answer is illogical if there were 2 bad things in the bill, a tax increase and we were hypothetically stripping away pro-life protections, which we weren't, then it's a double reason to vote against it. She voted for it.
I need to respond to that.
We have other people here.
I need to respond to that because I need to respond to that.
Michelle, understand.
There's some people over here.
I understand. You have the next question. You have the next question, Senator. I promise. Congresswoman Bachmann, 15 seconds, okay?
This is what I want to say. If a member cast a vote one way, they would be increasing the cigarette tax. If they cast a vote another way, they would not be voting for the pro-life protection. It was a choice. The governor put us in that box, and I chose to protect human life.